What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Anthony Joshua Francis Ngannou. Get this. Anthony Joshua fires back at Francis Ngannou and over his comments over his chin, and he says, "Who has knocked me out?" And this, of course, is when Francis Ngannou, okay? Now, let me give you the breakdown, okay? First of all, Joshua says, "You know what it is. People underestimate me a lot." And Ngannou said, "It's not underestimating you. It is knockout." Joshua says, "Who has knocked me out like that? Where am I unconscious?" And Ngannou says, "That is not what I mean. It is more like we are both going to be looking for the knockout, which I don't think is a problem because I will try to knock him out if I have the opportunity. And I think that he will do the same thing." Okay. And that's where it ends. And this is what I say. I think that the dialogue wasn't really over. And I think this is what I honestly think. I think there should have been some type of reckoning. I think there should have been some type of follow-up from AJ. Why? Because see, AJ was like, "Well, who's knocked me out?" He's like, "Oh, no, it's not about that. It's about your chin." It's like, okay, well, who has knocked me out unconscious to have you thinking that I'm like Amir Khan, or a Tevin Farmer, or anyone that is that has a suspect chin. Who is that? And what I say to this, I say AJ with the chin thing. I think it's unfair for people to say that about AJ because AJ's never been like Dillian White or Amir Khan, or David Price. He's never been like that. He's never been in a situation where he's been caught with a punch that he's just out of it. You know what I mean? Like even the Ruiz fight and he was down 4 times. 4. He was still like, even though it looked like this, it was more of an embarrassment than man, this dude's about to get knocked out. What was going to happen? He was probably going to get knocked down again because his resistance wasn't there. Maybe Francis meant that. You know what I mean? But it was never forced out of Francis. See, AJ should have forced that. Like, "Oh, no, you're saying it's my chin. You're saying I have a suspect chin. That means that I get hit, I go down." Well, Francis should have said, okay, and if I was Francis, I would have said, well, like the Andy Ruiz fight. You were getting hit with shots that didn't seem like they were too hard, and then you were going down. And then like if you look at the last knockdown, Andy Ruiz did hit him behind the head, but it wasn't a punch behind the head that was that hard for people to think that AJ was just that hurt. That shit looked like it was out of exhaustion or some other reason. Okay. Yeah, he was hurt, but then it was almost like he was beat down to submission. That's what it was more like. So I don't even think the right thing for AJ would be chin. I think it would be will. Okay. His will, his desire. You know what I mean? See, what Francis was getting to is like, well, hey, no, he's like, well, this is not what I mean. It's more like we are both going for the knockout, which I don't think is a problem because I will try to knock him out if I have the opportunity. And I would think that was just some cleanup shit to me. Honestly, I think that was Francis just, saying, well, go back to this general, like, hey, if he had the opportunity, I'm pretty sure you'd try to knock me out type shit, which I don't think that was in the same ballpark. I think the same ballpark would be maybe you thought AJ wouldn't go for that knockout. See, he didn't get a knockout in his last fight. He got a stoppage. He didn't drop out of Eileen. He just busted his shit up. You know what I mean? So it wasn't a point where he had him hurt to the point, hey, I'm going after you. No, he punished Otto Eileen. Now, Otto Eileen didn't really stand a chance, to be fair, but he punished him. He knocked out Robert Alenius, but that's after taking a lot of damage his damn self, okay? So you have to take that into consideration. All right. So him saying, "Oh well, hey, his chin," I think that word has been thrown around with AJ. And then even if you look at the other time he was down against Klitschko, bro, it's Dr. Steelhammer, bro. You know what I mean? It's Dr. Steelhammer. He didn't hit Tyson Fury with a shot like that, for one. For two, Wilder's never been in there for Klitschko. So those were really the only rivals, that didn't fight him, or should I say did, because, Fury did fight him. But, there wasn't, like, ask the 65 people that Klitschko, right? Is it 65 knockouts? Let me check real quick before I get this shit wrong. Okay, so 53. I'm sorry. He had 64 wins. So you ask the 50 some odd people that he knocked out. Ask them, Kubrat Pulev, others, how he punches. Alexander Povetkin, how he punches. Those guys. Ask them how Vladimir Klitschko punches. The dude's 6'5", 6'6", and he's 200 plus pounds. So let's just keep it real. He got caught with a shot that was a beautiful right hand. You know what I mean? And it's like the way Klitschko disguised it was there. Bow! It was almost like, damn, where did that right hand come from? And yes, AJ's ass went down, but he got right up. So AJ's pretty much, I think he got defensive. And because people have been talking about his chin. And that was mentioned by Francis Ngannou too. I hear he doesn't have a chin. I hear that he can take a punch. I don't know if he can. You know what I mean? But I am going to find out, right? So, yeah. But I think the back and forth should have been played out instead of ended with, this whatever ideology of, yeah, we both come to fight type shit. No, you said that I had a chin. Wherever you got that shit from is false. You know what I mean? That type of thing. Or is it? But you guys tell me what you think of Anthony Joshua firing back at Francis Ngannou. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!